Hi everyone, welcome to this week's Stencil Saturday. This week we are working with my Crossed Squares stencil. And just to save some time and so you don't have to watch me, you'll notice that I did go ahead and after I marked the stencil, I stitched just these big 3-inch grid squares. And for the design that we're going to do this week, what we're going to do is split each square diagonally. We're going to use this line, and we're going to use that line in every square. So I would stitch this grid, and now my next step is going to be, I'm going to go ahead and stitch each of these diagonal lines, and then we'll work our way back through. You could do one square at a time if that's your preference. I just prefer to need to do it a little bit more methodically, kind of everything at once. Otherwise, I tend to forget some, as you've seen. So I'm just going to go ahead and stitch these only this one direction, because that's all we need. I just always try to kind of split the center of that stencil line. Okay, and then this one last diagonal line. Okay, so now we are ready to go back through this kind of broken up grid here and fill them in. Get all these threads out of the way here. I'm just going to use a little bit smaller ruler because we're just going to work with 1/2 of the square, one triangle, I guess, at a time. And what I want to do is put 2 echo lines inside each one. So I'm just going to use a straight ruler, and I'm going to remember that I want to echo the top and the center. So I'm going to do like 1 line, 2 lines, maybe 3. I have to see what it's going to look like with 2. I'm going to use 2 1/4-inch lines. You could certainly use 1 1/2-inch line. Maybe you want to do 4 1/4-inch lines. That part of it is entirely up to you. It's going to be a different result. It's going to be, if you want it to be less dense, you may only want to do 1 1/2-inch echo. And then what we're going to do is jump over to this side and do the same thing from the bottom. So we're going to always be adding the quilting from each one of these squares on the left and on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and start right up here at the top. So I'm just going to scoot down far enough that my foot is against that line, and I actually went a little too far. So I'm going to echo this with a 1/4-inch. Stop. I'm just watching for my foot to touch that. Quarter-inch, and I'll scoot up until my foot touches that again. 1/4-inch and a 1/4-inch. I like that. I don't need it to be totally quilted down tight, but if that is the look that you want, you can add more echoes. So this time we're going to do the same thing, but this time going out from the bottom. Just bump over, line up my ruler, watch for the foot to touch. And then we already have the grid, which is nice. I like that because it gives me a place to travel. So this time, same thing, but I'm right here. So rather than starting up here, I am just going to start from where I am. Remembering that it's going out from the side of the square. I'm going to come over to this side. It's a really good way if you're trying to learn, get some accuracy with ruler work. This is a good one because you really want them to be mostly even. I'm not saying that mine are always even because they certainly are not, but it's a really good kind of skill builder, I guess, if you're trying to get better accuracy with your straight line ruler work. Oh, went a little bit too far. Next side. Pump over. Okay, so that's the first little row. And you can see in the picture here. So if I had done, so this leaves a decent sized little triangle in each one. Had I done some more echoes, I could have got so that this is much smaller. And that's, again, up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and come over here. You could certainly do this working backwards, right to left. I personally, it just goes slow because it's like I have to stop and think about it because I'm so used to doing this way. So if you can do it right to left, that's fine. I'm going to come over here and start over. It's just easier for me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get these filled in. Okay, now that that is done, can have a look at this, finished. If I can get a hold of my thread there. So I think I really like this. And if you look at it, let me see too again, maybe if I turn my light off. A little bit better, you can see it. It's not spectacularly well, but you notice it almost has a woven effect, really. It almost looks like these ones are going one direction and then these ones go like kind of underneath it. So again, you can certainly, if you want to do more echoes and make these little shapes pop out more, you could do that. Or not. You know, you may want to have a little more open design. You might want to do yours so that it's these lines are not so dense, and that choice is entirely up to you. So I hope you enjoyed that design, and I will see you next week. Bye.